Hey everybody, how's it going? We are here at the Nexus once again. This time, we're looking at Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And not only is it Odyssey, but we get to play with a very special collector's edition over here. We need to find out what's in this box.
What's in the box?
Okay, Brad. Actually, his name's Rob. Rob did the review of the game, and he's going to talk us through his review, tell us exactly what he thought of the game, if it's something that you want to spend your time on, if you want to invest in this game. And while he does that, I'm going to play with this. So the first thing we're going to do is say, Rob, how was your experience of Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
Assassin's Creed was pretty much one of the greatest Assassin's Creed games that they've released, not just recently, but also one of the best in the franchise for me. They focused on a choice consequence system rather, shifting it towards a more RPG feel. Ubisoft have openly spoken about this before, where they wanted to move Assassin's Creed over to a more RPG themed title. The choices you make in the game will affect not just dialogue options, but basically the world around you. So certain characters react differently, certain characters will interact with you differently. But in Assassin's Creed, it's a little bit more influential, and it actually has an effect not just on characters, but on the world as a whole.
And that, I mean, the choice comes at you right from the beginning. For the first time, you're able to pick either a male or a female character, and you play exclusively as that character through the game.
So there has been a few other titles like Liberation, where you played as a female, or certain sections as a female. There was also Assassin's Creed Syndicate, where you played as Evie. Also, again, you transferred between Evie and Jacob in that situation, whereas in this one, you choose from the get-go whether you would like to be a male or a female, or Alexios or Cassandra.
Okay, so sorry, just to interrupt you, before we get into what's in here that I've just seen, right? Let's just take a look at that. So you've got the brother and sisters. So here you have Alexios. It's pretty cool. And then you've got Cassandra over here.
Cassandra's got a little bit of more of an assassin's type of vibe to her. It feels a little bit more natural to play as an assassin with her, or more leaning towards the assassin sneaking around, killing people off one by one. But Alexios is more of the running, guns blazing, kick people everywhere and just shout and scream and just kill guys.
How long is the game?
Well, I mean, to say how long is the game is pretty much, it's all going to be dependent on how you play and how much time you really spend into it, how much you actually get into the game.
Sure.
So my playthrough, I got through about focusing more on the story missions and side missions and stuff was about 30 hours, but if you were to, also depends on what mode you use, because this is one of the, or this is the first time they're implementing a new mode, or new modes, should I say, called Guided and Exploration mode. So Guided is your more traditional Assassin's Creed experience. Here's a marker, go to that marker, kill this guy, go back, that sort of thing. Whereas Exploration is more of a, here are clues in the dialogue, which you've got to listen out for. What will happen is when you're tracking your quest, it'll come up on the side as well, giving you those clues as well. So if you happen to miss it in the dialogue, luckily they do give it to you. Then you've got to go consult the map, try and find the general area of where the quest is. Travel to that general area. Once you kind of get close, your eagle Icarus, that's some smart planning there, Ubisoft.
Don't get too close to the sun.
There we go. Your eagle Icarus will basically find your quest for you and pinpoint exactly where it needs to be. So the exploration mode is actually Ubisoft's, they recommend to actually play Assassin's Creed on that mode, because they made this game specifically for that exploration mode. And it's not just immersion, but like it forces, not that it forces in a bad way. It
forces you to explore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it makes you get out there and explore the way, because I mean, they've put so much detail into this. This really is one of the most beautiful games I've played. Incredible. So the amount of detail that they spent on the world, and I get it, they want you to explore, and it's worth exploring. It's actually a world that you want to go into, to explore into. So to not plan on exploration would be pretty much a disservice to you.
Now, put your eyes here. Put your eyes here, people. Put your eyes here, because we are very slowly opening up this box. Have a look at what you get inside the Medusa edition of the ultimate. Wow, my word. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch. We've got a map. Check this. We've got a map.
Just to clarify, it's an in-game map, not real world. Just
okay, yeah. No, this isn't real Greece.
Greece is real.
Yeah, but this isn't. You know, we have the Assassin's Creed Odyssey selected soundtrack. Look at that.
And I'd also like to point out, for those who might be watching and don't know what this is, it's a very archaic form of data storage. It's called a CD.
CD. You put it in something called a CD player.
Wow.
Which is kind of like a record player or vinyl player, but smaller. You've also got 2 vouchers from the looks of things. You're getting to unlock some premium digital content. We're not going to turn them around because
We can't.
can't give you the codes.
Yeah.
But I could do that. Yeah. Ooh,
We must
what is
talk
that?
about the art book.
Oh my word, is this the action? Oh wow.
So something I just want to mention about Ubisoft's art books, they are brilliant. Beautiful stuff. Really is.
in fact, let's just have a quick squizzy here. Okay, cool. So you got the art book, right? This is quite a
Quite a package you get going, yeah?
Ooh, and then of course,
Obviously, the game.
the game, right? So there's Odyssey, PS4. Very, very cool. Okay, now in the box, you get this rather exceptional statue. Yes. Ta-da. Okay, so Rob, having looked at the whole package, having played the game, let's break it down. In terms of a noob factor, out of 5 stars, what would you give Odyssey?
Probably 4.5.
Yeah.
It's actually I would say it's one of the best games to actually jump into. The nice thing about it is that there's obviously some real world stuff that you have to go through, but luckily it's set in its own little space that you won't be lost if you had to follow this storyline without having played any of the others. So it's a really awesome mechanics as well to get into, really easy to pick up. It's great.
Visuals. What is it? How is the game? Is the game on another level visually? Is it gorgeous? Is it beautiful?
It really is. For me, it's a 5-star. Definite 5-star.
5-star.
Yeah,
Wow.
definite 5-star for
5.
graphics. Because, like I said, it's not just the texture details and stuff that they go into, but it's also the coloring, the way that certain light reflects off water, the way that the rays come off buildings and stuff like that. The way that they've just done it, it's a really rich, vibrant, beautiful aesthetic.
Let's talk about authenticity, and I suppose this comes back to our earlier conversations about what they've done to improve over its predecessors. Does this feel, we're set in ancient Greece, we're no longer running around and there's no more Templar and there's none of that sort of storyline going on, but does this still feel like an Assassin's Creed title?
Look, I mean, certainly got mechanics that kind of take away from the Assassin's Creed feel. For the most part, they emphasize ground combat a little bit more, and it's a lot more intense. It's more brutal, very fast paced. So from that aspect, yeah, your assassin is more of a playstyle more than anything else. So it's something, if you want to choose to be an assassin, then by all means go for it. Nothing's stopping you. But the game doesn't really force you to be an assassin, and in a lot of ways, you do need to learn the ground combat aspect, because it does pick up a little bit of a Dark Souls vibe in terms of combat. You've got to dodge, you've got to roll, you've got to plan your attacks, things like that. So yeah, ground combat's very heavily emphasized, which is obviously something that we were introduced to in Origin. In this case, it's even more, emphasized even more. And I mean, there's nothing stopping you from trying to take something out by, I cleared a few bases by just sneaking around and killing people off one by one.
So if you were going to give it a rating out of 5 for its authenticity?
For its authenticity, I'd say about a 4.
About a 4.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's still pretty high, that's pretty good. And then the last one, our last gauge of games. How addictive is this game? Is it one of those games that you just want to sit and play?
So addictive. I spent probably about 3 nights until 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had to wake up at 5. Spent about 3 nights just playing until 2 o'clock in the morning because I just couldn't stop. It was a constant case of one more mission. And it wasn't because I just had to get through it or it was something I had to do or whatever. It was something I wanted to do. You know what I mean? I wanted to explore, and I wanted to do the side missions, and I wanted to experience what other characters were doing. Because also side missions all interlace with the overall arc of everything. There's, the characters are also rich. Like most of the NPCs are still a little bit boring, but for the most part, the characters that you interact with on side missions, you can feel that they're actually people. You know, they have a feeling, a sense of purpose in the world. So yeah, out of 5, I would say 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
So I think overall that gives us, if I work it out correctly, that gives us Assassin's Creed Odyssey comes in at a 4.5 out of 5, which is a pretty high score, and I would advise anyone out there who's a fan or not a fan, even based on that score, get yourselves a copy. Standard edition gets released this Friday, so get yourselves down to the Nexus and get a copy as soon as you can. Rob, thanks so much.
Thank you so
Really
much, Crispin.
appreciate it.
Really appreciate it, yeah.
And it was pure coincidence that it turned out to be two redheads with beards on this particular unboxing. But hey, you never know, it may become a thing. We'll catch you next time.